Hi guys, and welcome to the show. And today I'm doing part 2 of a little mini-series looking at current watch trends in New York City. So in the first episode we looked at rubber straps, and they are a really fun way to kind of bring a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of a different look to your watch, and also being really practical for the sticky hot summer weather that is about to engulf New York City, especially when it gets really hot in the later summer months. So in that video I looked at, basically I took 3 examples from the entry level all the way to really expensive luxury, differences between them, and it's something that I've definitely noticed, especially here in New York City. And also I'd just like to point out that I did make one error that I would like to kind of correct right now, and that was my pronunciation of cinturini. It's actually cinturini. In the video I said cinturini. Sometimes I must admit, when I'm switching from different languages I get in a bit of a muddle, but basically so I apologize for my mispronunciation, but it is actually pronounced cinturini, which is the Italian way of saying watch straps. But anyway, so that being said, I want to look at part 2. And this was really inspired by an article written in the New York Times, and it's called "Are You Man Enough for a Small Watch?" And I'll show you the article now. My wife actually sent me this article, and it's a really fantastic article. It's almost as if the New York Times has been watching the channel and kind of paying attention to what I've been saying. But also, not only that, it is very evident that this is a recurring trend that we're seeing, not just on the streets of Manhattan and New York City, but also in the media, in films and in TV shows. So what I'd like to do, I'd like to just read the first couple of opening paragraphs to this article. I'll include a link down below, so please check out the full article. It's a really good article. There's some fantastic recommendations. The New York Times, or Alex Williams, who wrote this, is really spot on, and some of it's quite humorous. But anyway, so I'll give you a little taste. So the article is called "Are You Man Enough for a Small Watch?" So Mad Men has been credited with sparking a revival in fedoras, tie bars, pocket squares, wingtips, and for those who rightly consider a cocktail a fashion accessory. But if there's one thing the show has whiffed on, it is watches. Even as Don Draper and Associates spend 7 seasons showing off their petite mid-century Omegas and Hamiltons, the prevailing trend has been towards hulking showpieces that could double as gauges on Nautilus-class submarines. Oddly, as Mad Men is in its final stretch, the horological influence may finally be taking hold. Jumbo watch fatigue is setting in. The market for vintage timepieces is robust, and lately tastemaker brands like Omega, Seiko and Rolex are putting their weight behind neoclassical models built to a human scale, each sending a message of cool mid-century elegance as crisp as a Beefeater martini. So you can already get the kind of gist of the article from that little sample. So anyway, I'll include the full article in the description, so please check it out. It's really, really good, and they've actually picked out some fantastic examples. They have the new Globemaster coaxial from Omega that debuted, I think, at the last Baselworld. With this article in mind, and the kind of trends that I'm seeing, and also kind of simultaneously my own tendency to go back to the mid-sizes. You guys know that, you know, I've recently got a mid-size Seamaster and a mid-size Speedmaster, and personally, for my own scale and style, it really works. Now, I'm not saying that all large watches are going to be passé, but because there are designs and styles out there that really do kind of need to be big. For example, the Panerais, the Breitling Navitimers. The larger size is part of their appeal, it's part of their design, it's part of their look, and that works. So I have nothing against larger watches like that, and if you have larger wrists and it fits your scale, then it's fine. But what what I'm opposed to is people just buying into a trend because everybody else does, and buying something that doesn't suit you. It's a look that works on somebody else. For example, I was on the train the other day, and I noticed that tourists with really huge, I mean ridiculous size watches. They look like they're wearing a hockey puck on their wrist, and it screamed kind of cheap. It screamed, you know, you don't want to look back in a few years and be embarrassed by what you had, and also you don't want to spend a lot of money in a trend or a fad that's not going to withstand the test of time. Personally, I always tend to go to the more traditional sizes. I think smaller watches are a little bit more elegant. Of course, like in Mad Men, they refer to a more sophisticated time when people dressed better and took more effort. You know, not this casualized, over-casualized culture that we are in right now. But I'm really excited because I am seeing this. It's not just an article in the Times. It's actually on the ground. I am noticing that there is a slight change now towards the smaller watches, and this big watch fad is kind of coming to an end. And I'm happy about that because I think it just looks a bit silly, you know. And also, if you buy into fads and kind of trends, it's not something that you can pass down the generations. For example, the 40mm Submariner is always going to be in style. It's always going to have that elegance. It's always going to have that sophistication, and it's something that you can hand down to the previous generations. Whereas a 45mm Planet Ocean might suit you, but it might not. You know, in the future, you know, your son or daughter or whoever inherits the piece, it might not actually suit them. You know, so it's a difficult thing, and like I said, I haven't got anything against larger watches. What I don't like is this kind of just buying these ginormous pieces because it's a trend. You know, I think it's always much more elegant and sophisticated to have something a little bit more understated and to fitting. And the most important thing is to fit to your scale. So with this in mind, Long Island Watches have very, very kindly sent me one of their premium Orient Stars to look at, and I've also bought myself a new Oris. These are both around 38mm, mid sizes, both absolutely stunning. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I'll be doing a full review of those. Actually, let me just give you a sneak peek. So as we're going to be specializing more in the mid sizes, I have, this is the Oris Arctics, I think this is the mid-size date version. Really, really nice compact size. And then we have the Japanese in-house, this is the Orient Star. I forget the number off the top of my head, but again 38mm, both with display backs, both very affordable, both kind of, I wouldn't say future proof, but definitely, you know, they're going to stand the test of time. So two very, very elegant watches, roughly about the same price. Japanese here, Swiss here. So I'm really looking forward to reviewing those. It's going to be interesting to compare these two watches. They're almost at the same price point, and I think two really, really strong contenders if you're looking for something a little bit more dressy for everyday use, a little bit more formal. Then these are some fantastic options. I must admit, so far I'm really blown away especially by the Orient. The Oris is absolutely fantastic. You know, I know what I'm going to get with Oris. You're going to get fantastic quality, a nice design, but the Orient is always kind of a little bit of a mystery. You don't really know what you're going to get, but I can tell you, so far I'm besotted with this thing. It's got this kind of mid-century. This is precisely what the article here in New York Times is talking about. So you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. This is very minimalist, if it will ever focus, and it has a very interesting dial. Can't really see, but has a kind of a really interesting dial. Sorry, there's a fingerprint on it, but fantastic dial. Beautiful, actually rotating bezel. So if you're not really into dress watches, but you want, you know, the features of a dive watch, then this is a really good way to go. So I'm going to do a full review on these very, very soon. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you like this return to mid-size watches? What are a few examples that maybe I should look at in the channel? Are there any kind of mid-size pieces that I should definitely look at? We've looked at the Bambino, the Orient Bambino. I'm going to review my mid-size Seamaster very, very soon. Obviously, we looked at the mid-size Speedy, the Speedmaster. You know, what do you consider mid-size? Personally, I think anything below 40 is mid-size for me. Anything, you know, 38, 37, 36. So, you know, date just territory we're talking about. Personally, I would never ever go below 36. I think a man's watch should never be smaller than 36. Obviously, way back, you know, post-war watches were absolutely tiny. They had some 33mm watches as well, but I think really the sweet spot is 36 to 40, somewhere in between there. My personal favorite is the Speedmaster. It comes in at 38mm in the diameter, and it just, for me, it's spot on. And it's funny, ironically, I'm wearing a 42mm watch today. This is actually my largest piece, but because of the fantastic design of the case by Squale, it fits, you know, almost any wrist. It's a rarity in the watch world. But anyway, so I'm going to be looking at the next few weeks more traditional sizes. The mid-century size is coming back. It's coming back here in New York. I don't know about London, but I will be visiting London this summer, so it'll be interesting to see if the trend is transatlantic as well, or if it's just here in the city. And what would your favorite mid-size recommendation be? What is the best all-round mid-size piece? Maybe the Seamaster, maybe the Omega Seamaster, maybe the Datejust. I think the Datejust definitely is up there. You know, it'd be interesting to do a top 5 or a top 10 perhaps. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Check out the article and stay tuned for the review of these stunners, absolute stunners. I'm so excited about these. My God, you know, I'm spoiled. I really am spoiled, but can't wait, can't wait. Anyway guys, thank you very, very much for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll definitely catch you next time. Okay guys, thank you for watching. Ciao.